Hi guys, I am Alana, part of the Cause production crew, and I am here with Tamika Joy. Now, how are you today?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty
Good.
good. My first question to start off is, can you share your experiences with your experiences with bullying in school?
My experiences with bullying in school, um, I was the person that bullied. I was the person that used to bully individuals based off of as I got older and did some self-healing. I came to realize what was the reason I would bully individuals, and it had a lot to do with the lack of me having a two-parent household. Um, I grew up with my dad. He was an alcoholic. And so my mom did not want that, in our household. So when I would see individuals with their dads or, situations like that, that would be a trigger for me. I didn't really understand it until I got older. And I did do those self-healings, that was my triggers. I would see people when I would see people that something that I wanted, then they would become a target for me to, put on the pain that I was dealing with onto them, which is not right. And so that is why I do what I do now. So we'll get to that though.
Okay. I can kind of relate to that a bit. My dad is an alcoholic, a smoker, definitely. But when I used to live with him when I was younger, I was physically and mentally abused
Hmm.
by him at times whenever he has his anger issues
Hmm.
and or whenever he drinks.
Hmm.
And by the time when my aunt and uncle got custody of me, I was confused in a way because I started to feel that this is how a dad should treat me. Like this is how my dad is usually treating me. Everything is okay.
Right.
By seventh grade, I started to like almost realize something in my head that something was missing, something is wrong, and this is not the way that it should be.
Hmm.
And I also started to get flashback memories
Hmm.
throughout all the things that has happened in my life
Yeah.
and all the traumatic memories. So by seventh grade, I did go to therapy. I did talk things over, but it was always traumatic seeing a healthy relationship with their parents
Hmm.
or just traumatic that I went through that like I did.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people, either not a lot of people or some people went through it and I had no idea why.
That's right. That is exactly it. A lot of people don't really understand what the root and cause of bullying starts at. And those are those things that it starts with. Getting to why. Why does that, what is it that makes you want to pick on this person? You know? You hear the saying all the time, hurt people. And that is exactly what it is when it comes to individuals being upset or rude and mean. Typically 9 times out of 10, that's the situation that they're hurting. They're just hurting inside, and that's their cry for help. Um, so I had to learn that, and I'm grateful that I was able to actually do that self-healing to get to another place in my life, to be able to be notified of that, identify that, and be able to now help others and identify it.
I'm glad you're doing that. That's really good. What led you to feel the need to bully others, and in what way did you bully people?
Yeah, well, the need was, of course, like I said, not having the lack, not having certain things that I would see other people with that wanted to, that I wanted, that I, needed. So it will be from, just saying rude things to someone, or even to the point, if it was something that I really, felt like it was something, I would fight them. I would fight them. I was a fighter. That was the way that I would, be known for, as my anger. That was my lash out, was fighting, or saying mean things to someone. Yeah.
For me, I kind of understand that with um for when I was younger, for the past 4 years, 4 or 5 years, I was living with my dad, and then up to like fifth grade, I started living with my aunt and uncle.
Mhm.
And I had no idea why, and all I wanted was to live with my dad. So I
Mhm.
started doing all of these, like, I started being mean to my aunt and uncle. I started to yell at my aunt and uncle.
Mhm.
And um, I started to lash out
Mhm.
and then even be mean to some kids at my school. Not too much, but
Right.
just enough.
Right. Enough to fill the void, to
Yeah.
feel that urgency of,
Yeah.
yeah, same way. And it's crazy, that you say that in regards to you wanting to be back with your dad, and you're lashing out on the individuals that were really taking care of you, that wanted you to be in that safe space and wanted more for you than what you wanted for yourself at the time. But
Hmm.
you were so comfortable with dysfunction that you even wanted to go back to it.
Yeah, that's I think about this
Crazy,
now.
right?
I think about it now and I'm like, I was really not okay back then
Mhm.
either.
Yeah, yeah.
And really it's kind of funny that I think about it now because so when sorry, when my sisters were younger, they um they started living with my aunt and uncle a little bit younger than me. Um, but yet again, by the time that they were in high school, they wanted to go back to living with my mom, which is she's a little dysfunctional as well.
Mhm.
So, and for me, as of now that I'm in high school, I don't want to be in that situation. So
Mhm.
I think of it, it's like so opposite because I've been living with the dysfunctionalness longer than
Mhm.
both of my sisters have.
Mhm.
So I find that interesting. But by the time I was in seventh grade, something, as I said, like snapped out of it because I kept thinking, I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing this to my aunt and uncle. I'm lashing out and I'm doing this. But if I were to live with my dad and do this, my dad would kick me to the ground
Mhm.
and probably threaten me.
Right.
So I started thinking, I was like, and my aunt and uncle has not done nothing but
Right.
try to understand my feelings.
Right.
So I was like, wait a minute, all this time, it was like a reality check almost
Yeah.
seventh
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
And then I kept going to therapy, and then plus in middle school with my counselor, I kept talking with her about it and then my therapist, and it just all started to build up into a healthy thing later on.
Good for you. Good for you. And the fact that, you were open and transparent helped you heal. A lot of people, when they are, go to counseling, most of them just say whatever it is that they want, that they think the counselor wants to hear. Not necessarily truly fully transparent enough to get to that root, so that the counselor can be able to tell them some of the things that they need to work on, or some of the triggers that they may see or hear that that individual's dealing with. So the fact that you were able to really break down and be transparent with them helped you become a better person. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. How did you feel when you found out your daughter was being bullied at school, and what motivated you to take action?
Well, when my daughter was bullied in school, what came to mind is another saying that they always say is what comes around goes around. It's karma, it wasn't her that actually would bully individuals, but she came from a product of and someone that used to bully. So if it wasn't me that got the bullying back, it will pass down to another generation that I don't think individuals are aware of as well. When it comes to certain things, generational curses and generational what's in your DNA and genetic, certain things are passed down in those situations. And so that's what came to mind when my daughter was bullied. Great thing about that situation, of course, when I was younger, we didn't have phones and things like that. So someone recorded the situation. So my daughter used to actually hang around some young girls that were bullying. And I told her, we don't do that. That's not what we do. You're better than that. And you need to remove yourself from these individuals. She was really good friends with them. They hung out all the time. And then when they went to middle school, that's what they started to do and all that. And so I told her no. So when she removed herself from them, they started to bully her. And so she's at her locker one day. She turns around. I guess she hears the person call her name. She turns around with a big smile on her face, and the girl just hits her. And so they start fighting. And so the school tried to suspend both of them, saying that, well, people were saying that your daughter was fighting too. And I said, my daughter was defending herself. So luckily I had that someone had, like I said, recorded it. So I sent it to the principal. I took it over there the day right after it happened, to tell him that you were not going to suspend my daughter,
Oh,
and just get to the root of that whole situation. From that, my daughter actually she deals with anxiety and depression, and she's a cutter as well. And so I had to, I wanted to remove her from that school, and I had a time with the school not wanting her to go from that school. So that's a whole nother story, but nevertheless, we ended up getting out of the school after they had, went above and beyond, and it did not work. It got to a point to where it was truancy, and it was a lot. Well, the day that I went into the school for a truancy meeting, because I told them I wasn't bringing her back, um, they told me that she could never miss another day, or I was going to be going to jail. Well, when they said that, somebody actually got a text message from, I guess, someone, and it was a picture of people saying bad things about her in the bathroom. They vandalized the bathroom on the day that the truancy offer was. Him and I was sitting in there, and she runs out, and everybody, the administrators looking at everything, and then the administrators got a page, and they all left out. So it's just me and the truancy officer in the room looking at each other like, "What's going on?" They come back and tell us what's going on, and he said, "This is what you had to deal with, ma'am." I said, "Yes." He said, "Expedite her out of here immediately." So that's how we got out of the school, but never but and so I just fought. I fought. Not only that, I told her, listen, we're going to get to the root of this matter in regards to bullying. I was a bully, you got bullied. I'm going to create a bully walk, and we're going to make lemonade out of lemons, and show individuals that bullying is definitely a lot going on nowadays. It has even grown over the last 6 years that we started. This was 6 years ago, and so every year we now have an annual anti-bully walk.
This is not on my thing, but what made you have an anti-bully walk?
For that reason, just to get to the root, where we actually speak about, we walk. And then we have a panel discussion. Those who either bullied versus those who have gotten bullied. So that each individual is able to kind of articulate and talk about what it is that was happening, what they were going through, and how they are now. Did the person that used to get bullied, start to become a bully because they used to be a bully? Are the people that used to bully, are they not bullying anymore? Are they still bullying? It's just basically, like I said, getting to the actual root of bullying. We can yell all day long, don't bully, bully's not nice, it's be kind, all these different things. But if we don't put an action to it, in a solution, then, it just continues to be a phrase.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Why do you think kids at school bullied your daughter?
Uh, well, what came to my mind once she stopped being friends with them, I think that they were friends, and they liked her, being miserable and being, what so they considered her not cool, once she stopped being friends with them. And these individuals, lack certain things that I know personally, that are the reason why I know that they bully. They don't know their worth.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know they're valuable. They don't know that they are, beautiful individuals that could be better.
What changes would you like to see in your community and beyond to address bullying?
Individuals coming together to really bring get to the root of that matter, talking about it, having conversations, conversing, having panel discussions, and just talking so that people can be transparent and individuals can, once I believe, and I know for a fact because I do it all the time, once I tell my story, just like how I did with you, I told my story and guess what you said? I can relate. And we had a whole dialogue. We talked about your dad, I talked about my dad, just because you can relate. And I think when people come together to be transparent about certain things that goes on in their lives, it will motivate others to be just as transparent so that we can get to that root and really heal.
Mm. Yeah. Um, and one of my last questions is, what kind of changes do you believe schools or communities should make to prevent bullying?
Do we have all day? I you know, that is like a question that is definitely something that will be a forever going, well, not necessarily forever going, but definitely a plan that will have to be put together, I think, effectively. But I do know that when I was younger, like you said, there used to be counselors in our school, social workers that would come and speak with individuals. Actually, it was like four kids that had substance abuse parents that were on substance abuse. You could sign up for free and get these counselors for free. And you would get out of class and go and talk with these counselors. And it was about an hour that you had their undivided time to share what was going on in the household, or it's something that you wanted to share. And I know that Miss Schuster, Susan Schuster, if I know her name from all the way from sixth grade, she definitely made an impact in my life, as I was able to talk with her during the years in my middle school to become healed. and really get to that root by talking about what was going on. So I do wish that they could get back to that and have extra su support and specialists, social, maybe social special peer specialists or counselors that are free for the children to be able to articulate themselves and have those panel discussions or just one-on-one therapy.
I agree with the panel discussions because at my school, I go to Mount Pleasant High School.
Okay.
We have a bullying box,
Mm-hmm.
but I am not sure if that's really enough
Mm-hmm.
because if you just that's basically reporting something that is wrong, which is good
Right.
to share out what is happening to you and how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But will it be enough for that person to stop
Right.
about how they feel?
Right.
I feel as though they'll just keep doing it
Mm-hmm.
until they have a certain feeling.
Right. Right.
Without that certain feeling, they'll just keep doing it and doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And last year we had this assembly where it was on mental health, but we did like a little fun Jeopardy game, which it was fun and it was useful in a way. But yet again, it would be interesting to have like students go up there and talk about their feelings about bullying and what can we do to stop bullying instead of having other adults go up there and just that's how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely understand and I'm right with you. It's going to take more. It's going to take more than what they have
A
now.
lot more.
A lot more. So that, like I said, people can just be able to um, feel safe to talk about how they really feel. And, it's crazy. I posted a post this morning about me waiting for a world where people can actually, where feelings, all feelings matter. You know, it could be a bad feeling, it could be a good feeling, it could be a confused feeling, it could be an unknown feeling. Whatever the feeling is, it just need people need to know that it matters. I
Mhm.
think that then, we will go and we will start to pivot into another direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was
So
very nice to meet
welcome.
you, and I appreciate so
Right.
much for talking with you.
Yes, absolutely. And if anyone's watching, they would love to be a part of these bully walk this Saturday. We will be in the city of Alexandria, 901 Whiff Street. At 10 a.m. we'll be warming up, and 11 a.m. we'll be walking. We also have the Lions Quest that will be speaking about the anti-bullying curriculum there at the symposium, along with the panel discussion, and we actually have a special needs talent showcase that will take place. So you're more than welcome. It is free, and we're just going to keep fighting for um, getting to the root of bullying. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you, and I hope you have a nice day.